Hello and welcome back to another edition of How Art Thou? My name is Austin, and today we're going to be working on more Pixel Heart storyboards. So I actually lost all the footage from last session. I did not save. I was being very reckless about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll put this off till tomorrow. We're fine. We'll be all right. And then I closed my laptop, didn't even think about it. So yeah, I had to in between. I had to re-record. Um, Not re-record. I had to redraw everything, and then you can see I renamed different files here, and like I redrew them, hopping on the couch. They have the remote. I had to spice it up a little bit, and yeah, we're kind of moving on to the next part, which is like the character select part. So for the character select, I'm actually taking inspiration from uh, Turtles in Time, Ninja Turtles. I think I bring it up here. Yeah, there it is. So here, this is one of my favorite things from any video game is this character select screen because the music is like do 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 do, like it's very like punchy. Like you select your character, you get the cool catchphrase. Let's kick shells. So edgy. I love it. So basically, I'm going to be recreating that and putting it with our characters. So just outlining it here. I'm also doing this recording a little differently. I'm doing the audio and the drawing separate. So we'll see how this goes. And it wasn't by choice. For this episode, I was recording. I thought I had everything. And no, I was not recording the audio. I was pretty bummed because it was done in my usual settings, but I didn't test it. So that goes to show that you should always test your equipment. So yeah, just kind of doing some outlines right now, getting a feel for it. I kind of want to capture it closely, but not totally mimic it, I guess. I wanted to still have that like reference feel without it just being straight up, like, hey, Ninja Turtles. Let's see, going back to my reference here. But man, Turtles in Time. That's one of my all-time favorites. Um, oh yeah, so let's go back to the last couple episodes were talking about comics I've done. So I did Hater, Mystery, no, Moon Fetish, and then I did Phantom Street, Mystical Problems, and all that. So after I was working on that stuff, I was trying to become freelance, actually. So I was kind of taking a lot of jobs, that even friends or friends of friends would offer. I would try to, try to make it on my own, even though I was still living at home at that point. So one of them I took was, I forget the name of the comic, and it didn't really go far, but I was hired by a dating specialist. She wanted to build up this whole story thing of these characters who were all based on real people. They were these big players. Uh, they all got women and whatever with their confidence, blah, blah, blah. So this was for like her training for guys who needed help picking up women. So it was weird because this was like my first major project, like where I was getting paid by somebody to produce pages, and I was unfamiliar with it. I struggled with it because obviously when you're making your own comics and doing strips in school and stuff like that, it's not the same because you're obviously going off your own schedule whenever it's convenient. There's no pressure to make something good. Like you're just making it to make it. So then I had, yeah, this person who reasonably so would be like, hey, I paid you for these pages a month ago. Where are they? It's like, oh yeah, I blew that money on video games, which is horrible to say, but I was dumb. I think I was 21. I think 22. Still no life experiences. Still very sheltered, and I don't think it really occurred to me that there was consequences for not. It was like homework or something. You didn't really think about it. That was my first time being like, oh, this is bad. Like, this isn't going over well. So I did a couple pages. It was weird because all the beginning stuff was great because I was just talking about the backstories of each of the guys. One dude has actually super into Ninja Turtles or something. And so it was easy to match my style to it because, as you can see, I have a pretty cartoony style. And it's not that I can't draw other things. Like I can do realism. I can do the thing, where you draw a photograph. And I mean, I didn't really. I've never been much for detail. I've always been very quick and always wanted to convey something as efficiently as possible without all the whatever, which is why I clung, I think, to the cartoony style. There's a lot of ways to put personality into it without like overloading the image. So then later in the comic series, there were a lot more sexual themes. Like there's a part where one of the guy picks up a girl at a strip club, and and I had to draw all the girls at the strip club and stuff walking around, and it just didn't look right. Not that I haven't uh, drawn pinups or seductive things, but mostly I don't know. It just, especially at that time, I was trying to be more towards the cartoony. Um, and that was also my first time going to clubs and stuff too, which is funny in itself because I did not drink. So the whole time I was going to clubs, I did not drink any alcohol, which was ridiculous. And um, I was wearing a lot of suits at that time because I thought suits were cool. Man, what a strange time to look back on. I think How I Met Your Mother was really big at that time, and that was my big inspiration. Was who is it? Barney Rubble, Barney, Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know. That was stupid, but like um, yeah, I had it just didn't really go anywhere, and we ended up having kind of a falling out. Not just because of the comic thing, but just sometimes things just needed to take its course. It's like I was not doing great in that situation, and yeah, I needed to move on to the things that I like doing. And then after that, I believe I worked with Johnny, my now stepbrother, and stepbrother, brother-in-law, brother-in-law, uh, and he was trying to get back into wrestling at that time, I believe, and I was doing a comic for him. I believe I finished it. It wasn't overly polished because of the time frame that he wanted it on, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun working on it, and the idea was to have it ready for an upcoming wrestling tournament. Give them out to the kids and stuff. So I didn't do too much on that one. I think I did like 6 pages, and I believe we printed them. Yeah, and they had their run. Now he's doing his own thing besides wrestling. So Yeah, but that was a fun one. Then I tried doing graphic design for a while. Even went to Collins College for it for like a semester. And I'm glad I did because I believe it was, ooh, like a month after I tried to start at Collins College, they like went out of business, or at least the one by me in Phoenix. Because I remember I went there one day to drop off some paperwork, and they were closed. Like desks were taken out, like nothing that was, you know, anything that was glued to the floor was gone. Like that wasn't glued to the floor, I should say. Uh, so it was just kind of funny to be like, oh, I guess they're not here anymore. This college I went to for half a semester. So that was strange. And I was also working with my cousin on graphic design projects, working for clients, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that, I thought would be able to handle that kind of thing. Not like it was too hard, more so that I'm a very willy nilly artist when it comes to drawing and producing. I mean, you could make that argument with, any artist or person in general who wants to do their own thing. But I don't know, you get to this point where you feel like you have a million and one ideas going through your head. So why shouldn't you be the one to also make your own stuff? But yeah, so far we got, I believe this is Michelangelo going on here. Then we're gonna put Donatello in on the other one, just to kind of balance it out. I was thinking about switching those for like different sprites, maybe one to be like our cat, but I decided to keep them because I think it'd be fun to have uh, myself and her in these spots. Mostly because, although admittedly, Raphael is my favorite Ninja Turtle. If we're getting everything out in the open, Raphael, that's my favorite Ninja Turtle. You gotta love the dudes with the attitude. That's where it's at. It's like Ajax from the Warriors, even though he was not a nice guy. He was cool for those 2 seconds where he was like beating up baseball furies. Yeah. So let's see here. Now we're putting in the touches here. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. This is definitely one I've been looking forward to doing because I also wanted to tackle something small that I knew I could handle within a year or two. Have this all finished and polished. Because all of my other ideas and shows that I'm working on right now, as far as scripts and things, it's all more long term shows. I've noticed that's kind of where the market is right now. And I also have a lot of ideas that I definitely feel like Bantam Street was one, or if I really wanted to get into it, I could put out a lot of material for it. I think I'm making her smaller right now. Make her more to size. And as you can see, I'm fumbling around with, oh, just passed over. Oh, no, go back. Oh, it's too late. Trying to find the right tool to shrink her. This has been an easier program to get back into. As I know Photoshop, I took like a year break from it and tried to get back into it. But to be fair, I think that was right before they did like a major update on it. So it like changed a lot of the features and stuff. Or I could be wrong on that and I was probably just super lazy. Everything's looking okay here. Because I'm not going to do with this one like I did with some of the others. I plan on... I I guess doing more. Um, this one will be a little looser. It won't be like where I ink over it too. Like the next, like the clean lines that I'm going to put over this, I'm just going to make black and make that kind of like its official thing. Because for storyboards, it's okay if they're a little sloppy. You know, it's okay if they, they're not super polished looking. Like it doesn't have to look like a still image of the cartoon itself. It can be more of a loose representation of it, which is good because you don't want to over, you know, put too much work into it because then people are also going to be like, okay, why'd you waste so much effort on this? Well, it looks like we're wrapping up now. So thank you guys for joining me. It's always been a pleasure. So for the new videos, I plan on doing some Let's Plays on a couple video games. One is Comic Zone, and that is a game on this Sega Genesis that has been a huge inspiration for me. And just because it fits the whole art motif that I'm going for, I figured I'd play it on the channel. Feel like it'd be a lot of fun. That and another one that will be kind of a mystery, but I'm excited to get that one out too. But awesome, guys. Thanks for joining me, and do art. Thanks for watching.